The winning blueprint presents the Redskins Report.
So we've arrived at the second preseason matchup of the season. Welcome all my fellow Redskin brethren and sistren. I am your man and resident Redskins fan, Lou. Thank you for joining me here on the Redskins Report. So here for the preseason prep number 2 versus the Pittsburgh Steelers. Home opener in the preseason for the Redskins as we're taking on the Steelers. I want to talk about what we should be looking for in this game. And look, first things first, you want to stay healthy. That's always the norm in the preseason. That's always the first objective. Came out of the Tennessee Titans game essentially unscathed. We had one casualty in that game. Unfortunately, it's a huge one. Rookie Phillip Thomas at the safety position went down in a heap trying to tackle running back Sean Green and sprained his foot terribly. And he has a Lis Frank injury that's going to take 4 to 5 months to heal up, and I wish him nothing but the best on his recovery. We were looking for big things from him in 2013. Hopefully he'll be able to heal himself up and come back stronger than ever in 2014, and we'll be looking for big things from him down the road. But that's a huge injury, and that's a tough one to have on your foot, one of the worst injuries you can have on your foot. So hopefully he can rehab that correctly and come back stronger next season. That's a tough blow for this secondary that was already looking for help before the season started. So that's a tough one, but essentially we came out of that game healthy. Want to do the same thing in this Steelers game. I'll tell you a few things that you want to look out for. First thing that I want to see some of these young guys spreading their wings. We get to see Jordan Reed for the first time, tight end, 3rd round pick out of Florida. He's going to play in this game. Want to see what he can do, what he can bring to this offense. So very excited to see what he can bring to the mix. Also, rookie in the 5th round out of Florida State, Chris Thompson, is going to play in this game as well. Really looking forward to seeing what he can bring to this offense. A guy that you can give it to in the screen game, in the draw game. Adds a element of speed to this team that we lacked a season ago, and so looking forward to seeing what he can do. Also want to see if he can help us on special teams. You know how I feel about Niles Paul back there returning kickoffs. I love Niles Paul, but I would love to replace him back there on kickoffs. Be nice to see if Chris Thompson can get some looks at kickoff return, and so we'll see if they choose to do that or not with Chris Thompson. And also looking for a couple of other guys to step up. We saw Tom Compton last week at left tackle when Trent Williams did not play. Looking to see where the Redskins are going to play him. He's a guy that can play multiple positions, left or right tackle, play both guard positions as well. And so he's a very versatile guy. Want to see if he can continue to get better. I thought he played really well, handled himself very well last week. Did get beat on a few plays, but all in all, I thought Tom Compton played outstanding last week, and I want to see him continue to progress and grow as an offensive lineman. Same with Adam Geddes. I want to continue to see him grow as well. Really have heard some good things about him, and I want to continue to see him progress and get better as the preseason continues to move along. So those are guys that I'm looking for. Joshua Rivas has been injured. Don't know if he's playing in this game or not. And he's really been a disappointment to this point, and I don't know what the Redskins were looking for out of this guy. I wasn't impressed with him when he was selected, and I think he's starting to show what I thought he would show, which is absolutely nothing. But we'll see. I don't want to be down on the guy. Hopefully he can play. If he can't, we'll see what other guys can do out there on this offensive line. Also, I think we need to start looking at positions and seeing what guys are going to crack this roster. You look at receiver, and we already know 4 receivers are a lock. Moss, lock. Hankerson, lock. Garcon, lock. As well as Morgan, lock. So those 4 all going to be on the roster. Now you start looking, are the Redskins going to keep 5 or 6 receivers? Last year they kept 6. They could keep 6 again. It's not out of the realm of possibility. Look, I think that Aldrick Robinson is a lock as well. I really do. I don't want to put him as a lock yet because I haven't been overly impressed with what I saw, but I feel like this is a guy that has to be on the roster. I love Aldrick Robinson. I need more consistency. He had a couple of drops last week. They've been ranting and raving about him in camp. I want to see what they've been seeing in camp on game day. That's when it counts. The training camp and practice gives you the ability to play in a game. It gives you more snaps in a game, then you have to step up. I want to see Aldrick Robinson step up in the game. And so I think you can go ahead and count him as a 5th receiver, as a guy that's going to be on this roster. Now do you keep 6? Yeah, last year, that 6th receiver was Desmond Briscoe. Well, I don't think Desmond Briscoe is going to be on the roster this year. Is that sixth receiver Lance Lewis? Is it somebody else? Who knows what the Redskins are going to decide to do, but I think that there's a possibility of keeping 6. We're definitely keeping 5 for sure. 6 could be an option. Who will that 6th receiver be if they decide to go that route? What about cornerback? I think that's another huge position for us. 4, just like receiver, 4 cornerbacks on the roster. Wilson, lock. Hall, lock. You also have Emerson, lock, and Biggers as well, lock. So 4 guys on the roster, no doubt about it. Then you start looking at Crawford. I think he's essentially a lock as well. You might as well throw him in the mix because his punt return ability, and I think the Redskins see him as being invaluable on punt returns because they have him back there. They feel confident about him being back there. And I think that in combination with him playing the cornerback position, I thought he's shown well at the cornerback position as well. I don't see him going anywhere. So I think you could go ahead and throw him in the mix as well and say that's 5 corners. I want to keep Chase Minifield, though. Did you see the way he played last week? I thought he played with the utmost confidence, and he's causing trouble in practice, caused a couple of brouhahas. Some receivers took exception to his physicality, and he got into a couple of scuffles, and that's what I like. I like toughness from my corners. I like what I've seen out of Chase Minifield. If he continues to play the way he played last week, hard to keep this man off of the roster. And much like defensive end, you can never have too many cornerbacks in the National Football League. You just can't. With this league turning into a passing league more and more, guys like Chase Minifield need to be on the roster. You can't have too many cornerbacks, and I think if he continues to play like he did last week, it's going to be hard for the Redskins to keep Chase Minifield off the roster. You can't sneak this guy onto the practice squad. Other teams are going to take notice of what he's doing in the preseason, and someone's going to snatch this guy up if we allow him to walk off of our roster. So it is a must that the Redskins make some tough decisions, and I think one of them is going to have to be keeping a guy like Chase Minifield on this roster. So be interesting to see how he plays as well. Looking for this safety position to really step up. I thought that, we struggled a week ago, and I expected that. I said we were going to make some mistakes. I expect us to make more mistakes this week. But the thing about it is I want to see what this safety position is going to look like. I don't know if Brandon Merriweather is playing or not. Again, when you start talking about the safety position and these ACLs, you look at Robert Griffin III, you look at Chris Thompson, you look at Brandon Merriweather, you want to take these ACLs slowly. You do not want to re-aggravate anything. And so I don't know if Merriweather is playing, but if he is, I want to see what this secondary looks like, and I want to see what this defense looks like because last week we were gashed. I did not like the defense last week, giving up that big run to Chris Johnson, giving up some big runs to the backup running back, Sean Green, out there. He scored a long touchdown as well. I thought Jake Locker ate us up in the short passing game, and so I think we need to start to get on that same page as a group collectively on the defensive side of the football. So I'm looking for some cohesion. I want to see the guys that are going to make up this 11-man defense start to play together. So if we can get Brandon Merriweather back on the field, even if it's in limited snaps, that's going to be nice to see. And I want to see us start to gel together. I thought that was one of the reasons why we were such a good football team a season ago, is because we gelled together. The front seven was playing good football all season long. Then the back half, that final 4 in the back, decided to join the party at the end of the season, and that's when we went on that run. Want to see us start to gel together as a collective group. And we can't have the mental breakdowns like we had a week ago. Rakpo going too far up the field, giving up that big cutback lane to Chris Johnson. Want to see us playing better. Cofield will probably play in this game, and so we'll be better as a defense. Want to see guys starting to play better. Rakpo did have a quad injury during the week. Want to see if he's going to play. Look, if he can't go, then he doesn't need to go. This is the preseason. We don't want any setbacks. We don't want to be missing any guys once the first game gets here. So if he can't go, if he's not ready to go, if you feel any type of way about him playing, then he needs to sit down. But if he can go, I would love to see him out there. I would love to see this defense starting to get its wits about itself and start playing some really good football. Also, I want to see this offense continue to progress. I want to see Kirk Cousins go out there, have a strong showing once again. I want to see everyone getting the football. Look, we're playing the Steelers. We're going to get a test here. The Steelers are a team that gives it everything they have every time they step on the football field. And so we're going to get a really good showing from the Steelers. They play their players about probably a quarter and a half in this game. I wouldn't be surprised to see Ben Roethlisberger halfway through the second quarter. He might even go to halftime. Who knows? We will see. But I definitely expect the Steelers to give us a nice preseason matchup, a nice test. And we need to be ready to rise to the occasion. If we want to be a good football team this year, we're going to have to beat good teams. Our schedule is no cupcake, no walk in the park. We're going to have to play good teams like the Steelers this year. Going to have to find a way to play better football against the upper echelon teams in this league. And so this is going to be a nice barometer for us in this preseason matchup. We need to go out and show well on both sides of the football and even toss in special teams as well. We need to show that we can play with the big boys in the league. And we need to go out and play solid football in this game, minimize the mistakes. Look, we're going to have mistakes. We gave up a 58-yard touchdown last week. We might give up a 35-yard play this week. Just minimize the mistakes, get better as a group, and I'll be very happy with this if we can do all of those things and stay healthy. Look, a win is nice, but the health of our football team is even better. And so I will take that any day over guys getting injured in this preseason game. So looking for a lot of things in this game. Hopefully we see a lot of what we're looking for. But at the end of the day, health is the main goal and objective coming out of this game. And so with that being said, I am a Redskins fan, etched in burgundy and gold. My Redskins spirit will never die. My Redskins spirit will never fold. Until we meet again, hail to the Redskins. And I will see you back here next week to break down this preseason matchup between the Steelers and the Redskins. So until next time, that's been the Redskins Report.
The Redskins Report.